Jon Jones getting himself into more hot water after this morning Bleacher Report announced via @DamonMartin. Jon Jones is arrested by his probation officer, not Albuquerque police, and it's now in the probation department's hands. #UFC. His mugshot was released and TMZ found it, and they posted it as well. All of this stems back to a few days ago where a TMZ video also leaked a interaction with Jon Jones and a police officer after he was cited for 5 traffic violations, most notably the officer listed drag racing. You can have a look at the video here.
Are you drag racing that Cadillac?
I didn't drag race
driver's
a Cadillac.
license, registration, and insurance, please.
I did not drag race a Cadillac.
I watched you do it right there at Broadway.
No, you did not, sir. No,
Any reason?
No, you did not. I did not drag race a Cadillac.
Okay, any reason, sir?
Any reason for what?
For the way you're driving. The way you took off there at Broadway after you revved your engine. After you revved your engine. I didn't say drag wife.
Yeah, you said drag race.
That's
absolutely,
right.
And I did not.
Okay. So you just felt it necessary to take off at a high rate of speed
I did not break the speeding limit at all, and I
didn't say you broke the speed limit.
And I did not take off at a high speed.
What's the speed limit there on Central?
I don't know, but I know I wasn't near it.
Then how do you know that you didn't break it? Because I was going the speed limit.
Okay, I was.
You were pulling away from me.
You know, I'm so upset right now.
Why don't you just hand me your driver's license, registration, and insurance?
Here, absolutely.
Go ahead and get the registration and insurance out of there for me, Jonathan.
Absolutely.
Is there an interlock in this vehicle?
Yes, there is.
Can I see it, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I cannot wait for you to prove that I was drag racing, because I know for a fact that I wasn't. So nice try.
Did you have something you wanted to say, Mr. Jones?
Yes, I do. Is your thing recording here?
It's always recording. Did you have something you wanted to say, Mr. Jones?
Yes, absolutely. You and I both know that I was not drag racing.
No, sir. I actually know that you were drag racing.
Okay,
I watched you do it.
Okay. Let me talk, right?
Okay.
Do I have that right
Mr.
to
Jones,
talk?
we're not having court out here.
Do I have that
you
right
have
to
a court
talk?
date, and you can.
Do I have that right to talk?
You do have that right to talk,
okay,
and you can
so
tell
give me
us
my
in
right
court.
and let me talk. Okay?
Go ahead. Tell me what you're going to tell.
You and I both know.
Don't tell me what I know. You're going to testify to what I know?
Yeah, I'm going to testify to what you know.
I know that you were drag racing, and I will testify to that.
That I was not drag racing.
Actually, I do know that you were drag racing.
You and I both know that I did not speed. You and I both know that I freaking revved my engine at the red light, and I never took off racing at all. Nor was the car next to me ever took off racing. I just simply revved my engine.
Both of you took off at a high rate of speed, sir.
No, I did not.
Only you kept going. He slowed down.
No, I did not.
Okay.
You are an absolute liar.
Well, we can talk about it in court. I need you to sign inside this box. Once again, you're not admitting guilt. You're letting me know you're aware of the court date.
How do you sleep with yourself?
Mostly on my left side, sometimes on my back.
You're harassing me like this. Oh, can't wait till you get out of my face. You're despicable.
I feel the same way about you, sir.
Pig. Disgust me.
Once again, feelings mutual.
And he also went in the MMA Hour then 2 days later to apologize for it and give a little more context.
And I'm driving up a street called Central here in Albuquerque. I was coming back from a dinner with a lot of my teammates, and I pull up to a red light, and I had these fans. They're like rolled down the window, and they're trying to get me to roll down my window. And I guess I wasn't really in the mood to talk, so I revved my engine at them, and they start clapping, and they're smiling, and they're so happy. And the light turns green, and I start driving away, and I literally get pulled over 10 yards after driving. Get pulled over in a 35-mile-per-hour zone, and the officer pulls me over and tells me that I was drag racing. And I was obviously really upset. And I asked him how was it possible to be drag racing in a 35-mile-per-hour zone. And he said, well, I never said you were speeding, but I'm going to ticket you for drag racing. And knowing that I just got a deferred sentence, knowing that it's the last thing I need to be associated with a drag race, knowing that I wasn't drag racing, I freaked out. I totally freaked out. And so, yeah, this guy ended up giving me, I freaked out pretty much and argued with this officer. And it got pretty heated, and this guy ended up giving me 5 tickets.
What?
He gave me 5 tickets. And
5?
Yeah, it was bullshit, quite frankly.
We all know here that Jon Jones has been cited for multiple driving-related instances, which I think, Francis, you're going to touch on more in the past. And I have my feelings on this one, but I'm going to let you go first because I know we disagree on this.
We disagree slightly. I don't think we disagree in terms of that I feel this was a little bit petty, like drag racing. Like, I mean, I would like to think that Jon Jones would not be that stupid. But history has proven yet again with Jon Jones that it's not like he's getting into bar fights and then going and doing separate instances. Like, every single bit of problem that we've had, minus the cocaine instance with Jon Jones, has been in a car. He could have killed someone and drove away from the scene in a hit and run. Okay, I understand people make mistakes. I'm not going to continue to go back on this because I'm not in the situation that the officer was in. But then he would drive again in February and not have his license or proof of registration and was cited again for that. Not mentioning back in 2012, he was done with a DUI in New York. So his track record for driving would leave the officer to assume the worst of him, right? Now, that's not fair. I understand that in this situation, Jon Jones, I do feel kind of bad for him because he's been cited for drag racing and revving of an engine, something that I've never heard of people actually getting cited for, right? Especially if you're a fan, it makes sense that he would rev the engine to you. But you just got to learn the honk and wave, mate. A little beep, beep, how you doing? Like, do not bring any attention to yourself. Why is he bringing attention to himself? No, you should be driving like a grandma. You should get a fucking driver to drive you around. If until your name is somewhat cleared in the driving field, because people are like, the officer searched his name, he knew who he was. Maybe, but the officer probably already searched his name and bang, ding, 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 ding. How many offenses popped up with Jon Jones' name?
I can't imagine. Although he did mention later in that podcast, he was talking about how the driving without a license and his proof of registration, 90 days of a probational period in which if he went 90 days without any sort of traffic violation, anything remotely similar to what you saw, then it would be wiped from the record. And I don't know how many things in the past have been wiped from the record. Again, nothing's ever really wiped from the record, but there's ways in which I've gotten speeding tickets before. You pay off the tickets and then you don't get points on your license. That's a New Jersey thing.
Hit someone and run. Or get
no.
So that's on your record. He's going to have that. There.
So he's going to have absolutely, those things are going to be on his record. The only thing I'm frustrated about two things with this video. One, why is it that some superstars get painted in a way that they are guilty until proven innocent, opposed to innocent until proven guilty? And look, the track record's there, and history tends to repeat itself. But in our country, it is innocent until proven guilty. And the problem I have with it is that the judge, his probation officer, has now put him under arrest, and he had to go to serve jail. It's not the Albuquerque police. It's a really important note to take. And I don't think this will have an effect on UFC 197 or 8, the one that he's fighting in against Cormier. I'm just frustrated at the judge for maybe not taking a little bit more time, even though Jon Jones might not deserve more time. I do believe innocent until proven guilty. I think it's very petty to pull somebody over for revving their engine, and of course citing them 5 times. Come on. You can cite them, but you don't got to get like the exhaust. There's a problem with the exhaust. Yeah. There's a problem with your tints on your windows. Like, now you're just adding insult to injury for no reason. Look, we're in a weird agreement-disagreement phase because it's not that I feel bad for Jon Jones. I just think that while a lot of what he's done is there's nothing, it gets serious. DUIs are serious. Hit and runs are serious. But those things he corrected, it seemed to be quickly. With the cocaine thing, he admitted into rehab. Same with the DUI. With the hit and run, although he made the very quick mistake in the beginning, he took the steps necessary to fix that as well. Everything else is these little petty, what I would consider BS citations, and because they've stacked on top of each other, now it's, Jon Jones closed his door really hard. I think we got to pull him over and throw him in jail for disrupting the noise in the area because he revved his engine, he closed his door, he made a gesture.
Fanboys and people who are going to jump on this, you just need to think about it in context. Of course, every officer, ideally, should look at each case as an individual basis.
That's not how it works.
But that's not how it works.
That's unfortunately
not how it
not
works.
How it works.
But again, Jason, I'm saying if it was someone who was involved in physical assault, if a police officer was to get involved for something that wasn't as extreme as the other cases, nowhere near, but it was still involved in slightly in the same realm, do you not think they would be like, when's this guy going to learn his lesson? That's what the officers would think, right? But you want to take, the officers should be thinking away from that situation. They should take in everything individually, but I just don't think, I think the officer realised who he was, and that's why he was being banterish back and forth. I don't think the officer was in the right to do that. Like go and say, I'll sleep on my left side, or like, and then Jon Jones reacted negatively, which I understand more than anything, because he's so frustrated. He's probably thinking to himself, not again. Media's going to take this, it's going to pick it up. So I'm trying to argue for both sides, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know what is a fix for Jon Jones, because it just seems like he can't get away from this, and he can't get away from the driving instances. And people might argue other situations. They might argue racial situations. They might argue other things which can be taken into context, because we live in an environment where we've seen this time and time again. So it would be naive to look away from it.
And he's been walking or climbing uphill at least for the last God knows how many years.
Yeah.
With all the instances. What do you guys think though? Where do you stand on this Jon Jones thing? Not just, I guess, the drag racing incident. I'm going to put that in quotes because I actually believe, from what I know so far, that he wasn't drag racing. But he was cited 5 times.
Well, I thought you have to race someone to drag, so why would they not pull over the other guy?
This ain't Fast and the Furious 2 Furious 7, okay, starring Jon Jones. Actually, no, they're on Fast 8, I think, coming out. Coming up. But what do you guys think? Comment below with your thoughts on Jon Jones on both videos, TMZ's video and the MMA Hour. And, I mean, I think we can speak for everybody here. We just want to see Jon Jones back in the octagon fighting Daniel Cormier. So hopefully that doesn't get hindered with everything else that's going on. Like, favorite, subscribe to this video if you will. You can follow Francis at Francis_Maxwell. You can follow myself at JasonRubin91, at TYT Sports on Twitter. We're also over on Facebook. Check us out over there as well.